Welcome back to the Keyboard Road Warrior series with me, Movie Scouse 007. Something has changed on the map. Let's quickly have a look at the map, and you'll see, look at that, we have two extra cities at the bottom of Italy, Parma and Modena. There's a little, there's a map update that was released by a chap. It's not ProMods. It has one or two minor issues in that the road has lumps and bumps, but it's stable enough to play, and anything that adds to the map is fine by me. Obviously, I understand that SCS may or may not be going into Italy, and there's a lot of Italy to go into. There's no Rome, for instance, which is a bit of a, well, it's a lot of a, that's a lot of I want to use a very profound phrase, but it's escaping me. As per usual, when I'm doing these videos, English becomes, for some reason, my second language. Anyway, so the map is getting bigger and bigger, from Bergen and Turku and Aberdeen in the north, to Parma and Modena in the south, Bialystok, Lublin, Kosice and Debrecen in the east, and Plymouth, Swansea and Liverpool and Brest in the west. So, God, I sounded a bit like an appalling 90s radio DJ there. So, obviously, because we've added a little bit of a map, the game has, for safety's sake, dumped us back in Liverpool. That's fine, no problem with that. So instead of starting this journey in Sheffield, we're going to be starting it in Liverpool. We have some work to do on our truck. If you can see, 18% damage. We didn't have a particularly good journey to Sheffield. So what we're going to do first is we're going to repair our truck and get some sleep, top up with fuel, and then we're going to pick a journey. So let's fire up. I think we might be able to repair. See if we can repair. No. No, we don't want to rest. Okay, we need to find our garage. So let's find the garage in Liverpool. Sorry, not garage. The repair centre. Okay. So if we take a right out of our garage and then second right, that should take us to a place where we can get our lorries sorted out. Yeah, I know, that's what we're trying to do. So this is going to be a hefty amount of money that we're going to be spending on this. I would imagine £12,000 to £15,000 is going to end up being spent on repairing our truck. So first right, oops, and then second right. So not this one. Actually, let's get that light on. There are a couple of extra add-ons that I've put on this. I think one of them actually might be responsible for putting me in Liverpool rather than the other, but I don't know, because I only installed it on my test. Oh, I went the wrong way. Oh, no, I didn't. I don't know what I'm doing. Right, let's get this repaired. Yes, there are two extra mods that we haven't talked about. So let's press enter. Oh, let's see the damage. 8,630. That's a lot less than I feared it might. That takes us down to 59,000, I think. 59,400. So we are fixed. Let's get a bit of a rest. Let's allow John and oh gosh, I forgot. Whoa. I keep forgetting that there's usually always a lorry parked in these. Right, let's engine off. Take a couple of rest breaks. That was a loan instalment. So let's take our last sleep break. 2 o'clock in the morning, never mind, it's taking us back to night time. Right, so let's go to the job market. Let's find ourselves some work. It's a very good job actually that we have a nighttime pickup, because it means I can show you one of the additional mods that I've installed, and it also allow one of the other mods to make its presence felt at some point. Have we been to Copenhagen? Don't think we've been to Copenhagen. Be nice if we could get one of the new. No, it doesn't look like we'll be able to get one of the new cities. Let's go to Copenhagen. It's a nice £22,867 job. So let's take a photo of that, as is my want. Select that job on our GPS. Fire our truck up and make a move. Now, as I said, there's 2 additional mods that I've installed. They're both relating to visual element of the game. One of them, I think we're okay to go out here. I was a bit naughty. I didn't. Oh no, I'm in the UK and I'm completely on the wrong side of the road. Yeah, wrong way of fence. £80. We can totally understand that. And accept that we saved ourselves the light offence there. Yeah, so we're about to, hopefully to see one of the mods, which is the reversing light mod. I have a real trouble at night time seeing where the load is, and also I have real trouble parking at night time because I can't see where the heck I'm going. So hopefully we've got a mod installed now that should help with that. So we're about to see it in action. Let's see if it works. No, it's totally useless. Oh, that's such a shame. That is such a shame. Alright. This happens periodically. It's possibly a mod conflict with something else. I don't know. I know the mod works because I've seen other people use it. It's fantastic. It illuminates. It fabulously illuminates your rear view. Actually, let's... when we get into daylight, I'll see if it's actually installed. It should be 2 large lights that sit on the top of the back of the cab. And it might just be that there's a mod conflict with something else. I can't see anything else coming, so let's go. Oh, I'm in the UK. I'm in the UK, so stay on the left-hand side, you fool! Right. I nearly got another £80 wrong way fine. So we're heading to Copenhagen in Denmark. Copenhagen's the capital of Denmark. It's actually it's on one of the islands rather than the mainland itself. Although I don't know whether the game actually. Let's have a quick look at the map for Copenhagen. We need to go a bit further out. So. Yes, see that it does accurately reflect. That is mainland Denmark, and this is the little island here. The island is actually called, I think the island is called Copenhagen as well. I'm not sure. And then you can see Sweden here. So this island could have been part of Sweden, but it's actually part of Denmark. That's cool. Denmark. Excuse me, sorry. God, I've got a real frog in my throat, which is no good when you're trying to speak. Britain has a bit of an appalling history with Copenhagen. The the Danish had quite a reasonable naval fleet, and during the Napoleonic Wars, and the British felt that it was very dangerous for the Danish fleet to be where they were. And so they insisted that Denmark handed over those boats to become part of the Royal Navy while we were fighting Napoleon. Understandably, the Danish said, "No, sod off. It's our navy. We're going to sail it. It's ours." So the British sent a fleet and threatened to bombard Copenhagen until they handed over the boats. The rulers of, I think, the king and the rulers of Denmark said no, go away, because they didn't believe the British would actually bombard the capital, the big fortress. They've got a castle there. They didn't believe they'd do it. The British were so concerned about Napoleon getting this navy, this naval fleet, that they actually did the unthinkable, and they bombarded an Allies' citadel. And you can still see the damage done to that fortress in Copenhagen to this day. You can still see the marks to the mortar marks in the walls where our naval fleet bombarded the castle and the city. A horrifying thing to do. Don't think I would have been able to do it myself. Completely understand why the British were so paranoid about Napoleon getting ships. I'm not 100% certain. I think my history might be a bit wobbly, but I think this is post-Nelson. No, it's way pre-Nelson. Sorry, ignore me. He was involved in it. It was before our fleet was as magnificent as it was. It was a pretty good fleet. We had a fantastic navy, but we weren't yet the rulers of the waves. We hadn't yet done that. So we bombarded this. We destroyed their fleet, set fire to it all. Or was it stolen? I can't remember now. I think we either took the ships or we bombarded the ships. And I think in a gesture of defiance and we hadn't sunk one of the smaller vessels, or stolen one of the smaller vessels, and the Danish Navy either sank it, or sent it to London, with the message something like you forgot one. It's not Britain. While Britain has a massively proud history, we also have a history of doing some horrifying, horrible, unjustifiable things. So while I'm very proud to be British, in that Britain is the birthplace of one of the most important languages in the world, the birthplace of one of the most important playwrights in the world, the birthplace of the most important sport, the most important unifying sport in the world, the birthplace of some of the greatest popular music to ever expose itself to the world. We also are birthplace to some of the most horrifying acts of stupidity and violence and ignorance and selfishness and capricious greed. I mean, what we did to India is horrifying. What we did to the native peoples in Australia is horrifying. What our progeny did to the native peoples of North America is horrifying. But also some of the greatest inventions and some of the most profound discoveries happened within the borders of this tiny little island nation that's imposed itself. Oh, one of the weird, I don't know whether I should be proud of or whether I should be horrified of, but apparently only 22 nations have not been invaded by the United Kingdom. Only 22 nations. Now, it should be pointed out that some of those invasions were in order to liberate the nation. For instance, we invaded Germany to liberate the people of Germany from the Nazis. The Netherlands, Norway, Sweden, Denmark, those sort of countries were invaded in order to liberate them during World War II. And World War, France, we invaded repeatedly to liberate them from the Germans. Mind you, it also should be said that we also invaded France. I wasn't involved. My ancestors invaded France in order to claim it as a part of the United Kingdom. It may surprise some French people to know that large parts of Britain were occupied and controlled from London for a long period of time. Yes, no, Copenhagen's one of those places I really want to visit, because I want to look upon this place that ancestors of mine did such horrible things to, and sort of, pay my I mean, not penance, because I've not done anything to the Danish, I hope, but just a little silent contemplation about humanity, and how sometimes it can imagine itself more important and profound than it is, and sometimes it can be more important and profound than it imagines it is. So, sadly, we're not going to get a journey into those those two new cities, which is a shame. Palma and Modena, which is a real pity. But obviously, as soon as we get to them, we'll try. I'll keep an eye out for updates when the guy who made the map fixes the minor problems with the map. And also, I keep an eye out for updates to ProMods. Actually, recently, the ProMods team, these group of 6 guys who are doing this in their bedrooms, making these fantastic. I'm going to one of the cities that they've created in their bedrooms. These wonderful maps. They're actually making some corrections and fixing some issues. They are focusing on Stockholm at the moment. Stockholm is going to be one of the biggest cities in the map. I wish they'd go for London. London, I think, is in terms of sprawl, is possibly one of the biggest cities in Europe. And I'd love to see them go at London properly. I'd love to see them expand it. I mean, London's the sort of city that could cope with more depots, a larger road network, a more accurate road network. I mean, I don't want a 1-for-1 scale. I think the map scale is 1:15, so it's 15 times smaller than the real map. But there's potential. I mean, they've added Croydon, which is fantastic, which is a first step to sort of adding more bits of map. But I'd like to see the M4. I'd like to see them do the M4 properly, because the M4 is an important corridor, east-west corridor. So I'd like to see a couple more cities on the map, on that M4 corridor between Cardiff and London. I'd like particularly to see Bristol. Bristol is a very important port. Why is everyone slowing down? Is there a speed limit? I always get worried when the AI starts slow down, and I don't know whether it's because the road's narrowing. Oh, there's a speed limit. And a speed camera. Always observe the AI. You might think they're doing something stupid, and 5 times out of 10 they are doing something stupid, but the other half of the time they're doing things like religiously observing speed limits. not religiously, obsessively. I hate the use of the word religiously. Obsessively observing speed limits, and you should always look at those sort of things. It'll save you money. Alright, so we're about to come up on a junction, so I'm going to get myself on the left-hand lane so that I can get onto that ramp. Oh, I'm going over the white line. That's bad. Right, so we're about to leave the motorway and join another one. So there's potential to add Bristol. At the moment, there's a big sort of cloverleaf junction system for the roads to Plymouth and the roads up north to Birmingham and Liverpool and Manchester. And that's pretty much where Bristol sits. Bristol is the junction for two major roads, the M4 and the M5. They cross at Bristol. It also has its own little mini motorway, the M32, which exits the M4 and takes you straight into the heart of the centre of Bristol. Bristol would be a fantastic location to add an extra city. It's the other side of the large bridge that spans the River Severn between England and Wales. It would be an excellent city to add, but London should be larger. London should be one of the largest cities on the map, easily larger than Stockholm, physically, easily larger than Paris, easily larger than Berlin, easily larger than Oslo or Copenhagen or Warsaw, easily larger than Vienna. It's a huge city, and that I know I'm slightly biased in I'm British, but it should be the largest city in the game, and it would be awesome if the guys from ProMods could reflect that, because it's unlikely that the chaps from SCS are going to bother. They've placed London in, and as far as they're concerned, unless there's an issue with that part of the map, they won't touch it. They've put all of their cities are pretty much the same size. You get there's one of two sizes: a small city or a large city. A small city has one discoverable and two depots. A large city will have 4 depots and 2 discoverables. That's fine. It's given everybody a platform to jump from. But I would love it if the guys from ProMods would do something with London. I'd love it if they'd do something with Liverpool. Liverpool is also a large city. It's the 4th largest city in the United Kingdom. Only Birmingham and Glasgow and Greater Manchester, if you want to consider Greater Manchester, but the city itself is larger than the city of Manchester. It's the 4th largest city in the United Kingdom. That needs also to be reflected in the game. It's very important. I mean, we're talking about a city that had the United States' first ever UK embassy. Liverpool was such an important town, such an important city, that the United States had an embassy in Liverpool before it had an embassy in London. In fact, the building's still there, although it's not an embassy anymore. It's actually a Sony centre. But they have restored the gilded eagle that used to sit above the door. So that's actually back there. So if you're ever in Liverpool, we had some income which I didn't spot coming in, because we're up to £64,000, which is fantastic. We are going to be able to possibly upgrade Liverpool at the end of this journey, which will of course be at the beginning of the next journey, which is fantastic. Upgrading our garage is our building our business empire is our primary goal, outside having fun and driving trucks. Driving trucks and having fun is obviously why we're here, but if we are upgrading our skills and upgrading our lorries. I see an IKEA logo. The ProMods guys have clearly popped. Where are we? We are approaching London. They've just chucked an IKEA. Oh, that is brilliant. They've just chucked an IKEA in. That might be a London destination. I thought we'd been to Croydon, but apparently we haven't been to Croydon. Well, there you go. See, I mean, all of the space that they can fill inside this map, inside the M25 corridor, because this is the Greater London area. There's an awful lot of stuff in here. The M3. They've got the M3. Ah, yeah, they do have the M4. Thank goodness. See, this is where they could put Bristol, and over here they could put an exit. And they could put Oxford in here. Oxford's quite an important place. Car manufacturing happens. Vauxhall, who you might, if you're in mainland Europe, you'll know Vauxhall as Opel. If you're an American, you'll know Vauxhall as General Motors. General Motors is the parent company, and they went around gobbling up vehicle manufacturers. Holden in Australia, I think Saab in Sweden, etc. So they could put Oxford in there. Oxford's an important city. It's very. I mean, they've got the other university city, Cambridge. But that's not a reason. Oh, one of those fantastic. I was talking about in the last video. One of those fantastic overhead boards. They're brilliant. Again, it helps you to forget that you're playing a game. It makes you immerse yourself in the game and believe that you're actually driving a real truck in the real world, which is, daft, I know. Right, we've got an exit coming up, so let's get into that inside lane. Alrighty. So we've still got a long way to go, to 24 hours. Obviously, a huge chunk of that will be ferry journey, which in-game happens instantaneously. But, yes. So now we're on the M25, which means we're skirting outside London. Here's another thing. Watford. Watford is a city they could chuck. They've put Croydon in, they can put Watford in. Watford would be just outside the M25 corridor, so you'd have an exit. We'd have an exit coming up soon, actually. It's the home of the writer H.G. Wells, who wrote The Time Machine and War of the Worlds and The Invisible Man. It is also the location of the studio where they filmed the entire Harry Potter series, a place called Leavesden, and also the studio where they shot GoldenEye. The only studio they've shot a Bond movie at outside Pinewood, and that just happened to be because Pinewood was being used for something at the time. And it's a relatively large place. It's comparable to Croydon, so it would be a nice small city, one discoverable, two depots. Be nice. So we are heading, I believe we're probably heading to Felixstowe, possibly to Esbjerg, and then possibly another ferry journey across to the island that Copenhagen's on. So obviously this is being recorded in the past. Just so you know, if some English second language again, if some catastrophes occurred and I'm not addressing it, it's because this was recorded weeks, if not months, before it was broadcast. Because obviously, as you may be aware, in May 2013, I will be moving back to London, England, from Christchurch, New Zealand. And for 4 to 6 weeks, I won't have access to this PC, and I don't want to leave you guys without videos. So I'm building up a backlog, which I can upload to YouTube on private and then release. The plan is to release 3 a week until I have exhausted all possibilities. I'm going to do as many as possible in as short a period of time as possible to build up this bank of videos, and also I want to get this done before I have the distraction of a steering wheel. I want to, because I don't want to abandon this series. I may not get to level 150 before I get back to London, before I get this computer back in front of me, and before I get a tracker and a decent PC to play this on. I may get distracted, I may not. But the aim is to reach level 150. I'm certainly going to reach level 36, which is where your skill tree stops. There's nothing's going to stop me from reaching level 36 unless this computer dies. And that way I can show you the complete skill tree. We've got a speed camera coming up, and I don't know what the speed limit is because I missed the posted sign, so I'm going to drop it down to 60 to 65 because it can't. That is the lowest possible speed I can reach, and we're golden, and we're back up to national speed limit. I'm trying to observe all of this stuff. I've had a bad run. I've had I don't know whether it's lack of concentration or what, but I've had a bad run. So there's another mod I want to add to this game. It's called Realistic Physics. What it does, I don't know if you've ever watched anybody else that uses Realistic Physics, but what it does is it moves the cab in a more realistic way. Here's our exit. I don't know if you're aware, but a cab over lorry, the part of the cab the driver sits in actually tips forward to allow you to access the engine so that you can maintain the engine. Now this part of the cab moves quite a bit during driving because obviously it's locked in, but it's not locked in so rigidly that it can't move, otherwise it would break. So there's a little bit of freedom of movement on that front. So if you watch when I next brake, you'll see that the movement is relatively minor, and I am thinking I might want to add realistic physics because I'm going to want. I keep saying gonna as GNU. I don't know why that should irritate me so much. It shouldn't. I should just let it go, but unfortunately it does irritate me. Okay, we are going to jump this queue a little bit. Okay, and slow down. Otherwise we'll be stuck behind those guys as they sit there interminably waiting for people to go by. Far too polite. Okay, 60 miles an hour. I don't know what's that in K. I think that's 80k. So if we stick at 75, we should be all right. So I'm going to run it in my test profile to see whether it makes me queasy or not. If it makes me queasy, I'm not going to install it. Because this is supposed to be about fun. It's not supposed to be about making me ill. About being realistic at the expense of making me ill. So I'll try it in my test profile. I'll try a couple of journeys in my track. Right, let's slow down a little bit. We're 30. Whoa. So I'm going to try a couple of medium-length journeys in my test profile. If it works, I'm going to put it on my other two profiles, my YouTube, my keyboard profile, and my private profile, and we'll start running it. So that's the aim. Whoa, you stupid boy. So here we are. We're near the ferry port. So we're about to duck into a ferry. It's a long enough journey that I should I should rest, so I shouldn't have to actually take a sleep break during this video. But we'll see. And hopefully we can get into the ferry without crashing. Oh, we got a speeding fine. Ah, I do tend, I've noticed, to get speeding fines at the ferry ports. I don't know what it is. I need to be in this lane. I'm turning right for the ferry, and I need to be aware that this guy is also turning right. And that should be the ferry port right there on the left. So let's make. I think I might not have to roll onto the Ro-Ro. Let's just Ro-Ro by the way is roll on, roll off, which is a type of ferry that's got opening at both ends. So yes, this is not where we see the Ro-Ro. No, we don't want to do that. We want to do that. SBS, so 1,100. Is it 82? No, 92 pounds. Oh, the old ProMods one. Alright, it's raining. So yes, we got some rest, and we're back at night time, which is a bit unfortunate. We've got another £1,000 in our coffers, which means that actually let's see how our chaps are doing. So John is our man. He's the man. So let's go to driver manager. So John is pulling in £2,500 a day. Ooh, Imre's not far behind him. So let's see what John's doing. Yeah, he's getting 3 to 4k every journey. That's good. And he is currently he's on a job. He's on his way to Hanover, and Imre is on his way to Stavanger. And let's look at his job log. Imre's doing the business. Imre's doing the business. Right, so let's get on with this. Okay. Wow, the rain is bad. I find myself when I'm playing this game and it's particularly heavy wanting to speed up. Oh, hello, that wasn't good. Oh, hang on. That wasn't good. Oh, apparently that was no problem whatsoever. We have done 0 damage to our truck. Okay, so we're going to hit this roundabout and take a right. We're going to cross Copenhagen. Cross Copenhagen. We're going to cross Denmark. Copenhagen's a country. Right, that's We've got vehicles approaching, which we can just make out. 2 vehicles approaching us. I hate the fact that I hate the fact that you can't see very far. It's so dark. Right, that's us after this. And we hit a red light. So, in the past, as it will be for you guys, here in New Zealand it's actually summer. Wow, that is quite loud. Let's turn that down just a tiny bit. But it feels like a UK summer in that it's not roasting hot. It's sort of it's temperate. It only rains periodically, and when it does, it still feels warm. It's quite bizarre. 6.5 months in, I'm still sort of getting used to that. New Zealand does get cold though. When we were first here, we were in a house that was still suffering from the ravages of earthquake damage. And there's nothing coming. Do you know what? I was actually looking in the wrong direction. I was looking in the UK direction. I was driving in the Europe direction, but I was looking in the UK direction. How bizarre. Yes, we were living in a house that was suffering from the ravages of earthquake damage still. It hadn't been repaired because the lady who owned the place was still negotiating, arguing with the insurance company over what they should pay for. So the living room was still being held up by a large wooden brace, and there were cracks in every part of it. It was a lovely old house, and it would have been wonderful if it wasn't so. Let's pick a lane, eh? Because I hate it when people do that, when they don't pick a lane. It was a lovely old house, and it had a nice garden, and the missus likes gardening, so that was good. But it was suffering, and it had some shonky old furniture that was really uncomfortable to sit in. But it was all right. It was okay. Oh, mind you, I tell you one big problem. I'm a night owl, and the missus is an early bird. She likes to get into bed quite early, and I like to play video games. And I hadn't discovered this game yet, so I was still playing a lot of PS3 games. And the trouble was the television that has its modern TVs have their speakers on the back, and they use the wall that they're in front of to bounce the sound. And sadly, it bouncing the sound off the back of this filmily plasterboard wall that was between the bedroom and the living room meant that I couldn't have the sound on really loud enough to be useful at night. So that was a bit crap. But it had a nice kitchen, and it had had an awful bathroom though. I think the two areas where people underestimate as to how important they're going to be when you're living in a place is the kitchen and the bathroom. If you're going to want to put your own stamp on a bathroom, then it doesn't matter what the bathroom looks like. But if you are not going to want to, if you're going to want to live with the bathroom for a while, you're going to want a bathroom you can live with. So it's very important to get a bathroom you can live with. If you're renting, it's vitally important that you can get a bathroom that you can live with straight away. Okay, I think we've got an exit coming up here, but not that one. That's a bit early there. If you're renting, it's very important that you get a bathroom and a kitchen you can live with, because you're gonna hate them if you can't, and it's going to impact on your life. I don't use bath. I use showers, but I'm a big fella, and I like to be able to get some elbow room. And I think I've already talked about this in a previous video. Getting a bathroom with elbow room is vitally important for me, because I need that elbow room. So, I need to get over into this lane. Oh, you forget how loud the rain is on the inside of this lorry. I'll tell you what I could do with actually installing a mod that raises the volume of the engine, because I think even in I don't think the engines are loud enough. See, now if I was in that horrible ore lorry that I took to Sheffield, that corner would have pulled me over. The ore container would have pulled me over. That is a challenging cargo to haul. I might if I decide to go for the oh hello, slowing right down here. See, right, okay, we have got something that was put in by the ProMods guys when they added the Northern France mod. You can see the back of the lorry in front. There is a yellow box. That's actually a forklift hanging off the back of a lorry. This is something they added. They've added this forklift hanging off the back of a lorry. It's brilliant. It's you see this on lorries that are certain companies. They have a trailer. If they own the trailer, they put their own forklift on the back, so that the guy driving the lorry can also drive a forklift and get the goods off. Fantastic. And what he does is, to stow it, there are slots in the back of the lorry. He pops the arms of the forklift into these slots, and then he lowers the arms, which actually raises the forklift off the ground. It's brilliant. Oh, I'm getting a bit hungry, guys. I decided I'm going a bit fast. I decided to record the first part of this, or the whole of this, before I ate lunch, and I'm beginning to regret it because I'm starving. Oh, I hope the rain ceases soon. It's just as irritating to drive in virtual rain as it is to drive in real rain. Actually, it's probably less irritating. It's less stressful. Sorry, because real rain has a dramatic impact on the roadworthiness of your vehicle. So we are essentially. Let's just have a quick shifty of the map. See where we are. We are very close to Aden's, and Aden's is, I think we're going to. No, we're going to cross a bridge. Yeah, we're going to cross a bridge and then into Copenhagen. So we're definitely not going to get any sleep. So let's have a look at. Oh, that's right. I didn't want to do that. Let's have a look at that map again. I'm not going to lie to you. My hunger got the better of me, and I decided to pause and get something to eat. So this seemed like a good enough chance as any. Right, so we're about to pass Odense. We're about to go across this fantastic bridge, and we're about to hit Copenhagen. So let's get this done. So there's Odense. So we're not far off. As we've stopped for a considerable length of time, I've completely forgotten what it was we were talking, what I was talking about before. I broke off to get some sustenance. Okay, I need to get into that lane because we're going straight across. I watch other tubers. There's a guy called Tracy. He's got a YouTube profile, which is the Truckin' Trucker, and his Twitch profile is JCDDM Dad. He is a retired trucker. End of the rain, so we can turn the wipers off. And it's really fascinating watching Tracy drive, knowing that he is actually watching him slowly shed the skin of responsible truck driver and become gaming trucker. So you watch his first videos. He's observing in his first video, because his company used to insist that all drivers used to drive the trucks around the yard with hazards and lights on. He has his hazards and lights on. Second video, he gets rid of the hazards because they're too noisy for him to commentate on the video. But he sticks with the lights. But his driving becomes more game-like and less. Oh my God! If I drive like this, I'm going to kill someone. Which is quite funny. It's such a shame, actually. You can't see this wonderful bridge. I think we've been across this bridge already, but it's a shame you can't see it because it is a pretty bridge. But maybe we'll have to go back over this bridge to get back to somewhere in mainland Europe. Maybe somewhere in one of the new cities in Italy. Maybe. So we got £65,000 in our bank account. We get with the £24,000 we will earn from this job. At the beginning of the next video, we will spend expanding our garage so that we get 5, which is the maximum you can have. You can't have more than 5. Right, let's try not to crash into this barrier. Good start. £124. Wow. Scandinavia is damned expensive. So yeah, the 5 is the upper limit for trucks and drivers in any one garage. There are a finite number of images for drivers, so there are a finite number of drivers you can have, which means there's a finite number of garages you can have staffed. Now, that said, it still makes sense when you've got the money to buy a garage and upgrade it, because you will get the petrol station. The petrol station gives you a 10% discount on fuel, but more importantly, it gives you a fuel station in town. The ProMods guys are putting fuel stations in town, because why on earth wouldn't you have a fuel station inside the city? But the vanilla and going east cities do not have a petrol station inside the city. So when you buy a garage and then upgrade it to 5 drivers, or to 5 slots, you get the discount petrol pump, which is which is incredibly useful. Because the number of times I've drifted into town on fumes, not realizing how low I was on fuel, and then had to drift on fumes to a garage outside town. Thankfully, I haven't run out of petrol and had to be hauled back to town, because that would just be embarrassing. But I've seen it happen on Twitch streams, and I've seen it happen in YouTube videos. You have to call for assistance by hitting the F7 button and then okaying it, and then they drag you to town, and sometimes they'll drag you all the way back where you've just left. And if you've been driving for 15 minutes of real time, that can be an awful lot of time. Wait, whoa, let's slow down. So we're about to head in, I think, to Copenhagen. So we're about ready to drop our cargo. Yeah, this is going too fast. We're about to drop our cargo in Copenhagen, so we've got to take a left, I think, and get on that overpass that we're just about to drive under. So let's do that. We've discovered Copenhagen, people. Copenhagen is now ours. And how many discoverables has it got? It's got just the one, as I recall, hasn't it? Yep, just the one. Right near where we're dropping our load. That's cool. And it's going to be a truck dealership. I can tell that because the repair centre and resting spot are right next to it, and that only happens if it's a dealership. Oh, sweet. Green light. Like it. And I believe we just follow this road through. Oh no, we've got a left turn coming up at some point, so we'll stick in the left-hand lane. Whoa, red light. I like it when sudden red lights appear on a hill that you're going up. It makes it so much easier to come to a halt. So this is Copenhagen. Obviously this won't look... They might have one or two other buildings. I don't know if they've got the castle. I can't see, because I can't see... A, can't see the skyline, and B, it's night. So even if I could see the skyline, I wouldn't see the skyline, as it were. But I do hope they've got... Whoa, no! Oh, damn it! Oh, how much damage. What a relief. Annoying that we've done damage to. Hang on, I've got back up. Is he gonna go? Yes, he is. He's gonna go. Good. Ugh, no, we've got a yellow light. That is annoying. At least we didn't, hopefully, do any damage. Yeah, we didn't do any damage to the load. We still get our excellent rating. We shouldn't, because we crashed, but we should. But we will. So we now just wait for the lights to go green. Get rid of this load before we can do any more catastrophic damage to our reputation. Oh, I didn't put the... Oh, hello. I didn't put the parking brake on. I've noticed I've got a bit laissez-faire about putting the parking brake on, which is very bad. I was doing so well as well. No damage whatsoever until that crash in Copenhagen. Oh, another red light. Parking brake on this time. Oh, and we're good. We go. Yeah, that's annoying. Oh, hello. We got to turn left here. And then the right turn, so we'll stay in the right-hand lane, which is good anyway. Oh, I can see another set of traffic lights. So I'm going to prepare for them this time instead of ramming the poor guy in front of me. Completely my fault. Not paying attention to the road ahead. Zoning in on the road in front of me instead of the road ahead. That's what happens. Right, so we're right on top of our delivery point. And we're straddling multiple lanes because we're looking at our GPS instead of concentrating. So actually what we'll do is we will do a loop and we will get that discoverable. Because we've got bags of time. Because it's we've got 24 hours to do it. That guy must have gone through a red light. Poo speed. What the hell? Hang on. You're kidding me. What are you doing on my side of the road? Oh, this sucks, man. I have no idea. Where that car came from. I'm all flustered. I've had 2 accidents in a rapidly short period of time. And one was completely my fault, but I don't know about the other one because I didn't see the vehicle. And I don't know whether he jumped in front of me or whether... Okay, yeah. I've gone completely... I've missed my turning, so... I've gone completely wrong. Oh, no, please don't hit that. And, yeah, that's bad. Yes, where was I? aside from crashing into stuff. Where was I? I think that's my delivery point. And it's an Aveco. Right, okay. I think I can use this entry to pull a U-turn, and then that gives me a greater angle, a better angle to swing in on this depot. Let's look at the bigger map. Yeah, this is the one we want. Yeah, that gives me a better angle. Except I've now screwed it up. Totally. And I've got a horrible feeling I'm going to clatter. Ugh. Well, this went from oh, I've just lost my excellent. Oh, that is bloody infuriating. And I've now hooked. Oh, I'm having a disaster, guys. I'm having a total disaster. A total disaster. Yeah, that's not going well. Let's try and get this in. No. Too fast. Way too fast. Way too fast. Oh, what on earth is the matter with me? Hopefully this should straighten it out a little bit, and then let's not overcook it. And then hopefully we should be green any minute now. We're green. Excellent. Well, that wasn't excellent. That was good work. I was doing so well, and then I got into Copenhagen and I completely ruined it. We did level up though. You know what that means? Not only are we going to buy the upgrade for our garage, we're also going to apply a skill point, and we're going to see what upgrades we have. Will we have the XL cab upgrade that I want? Will we have the 750 engine I want? I don't think so. But anyway, I think actually, yeah, level 12 is when we get the with the XL cab upgrade that I want. So we start to make the truck look pretty. So what have we got? Actually, let's do my photo first. So 763k, 27 hours and 26 minutes of travel time, 338.5 litres of fuel. We got 18,210 and 763 XP. We got £3,004 for proficiency. Our ADR delivery bonus 160 XP. Our long distance skill rank 1 bonus of £826 and 190 XP. Our fragile cargo bonus for skill rank 1. £826 and 167 XP, 45 XP for parking, and then we come to our damage penalty, 1%, which is £158 and 16 XP. So we ended up with £22,710, 1,309 XP. We leveled up to level 12 skilled worker. We have a total of 16,481 XP. Our next level up happens at 18,700. This has been Movie Scouse 007. Until the end, that was a brilliant run. And if you've watched the whole of this video, thank you very much. I will see you in the next video, but in the meantime, I'll see you on the road.